This is Aiden Willems. Rollmonger's Actual Play Podcast is proud to present Star Wars Saga Edition Dawn of Defiance Campaign, starring GM Jeff Ball as narrator and game master, featuring the voice talents of myself, with the players Matt Witt, Ryan Messina, Jay Tamlin, and Frank Hamilton.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rollmongers. Tonight, once again, we are traveling space lanes of Saga Edition Star Wars. That's right, the only edition that is so far dated, and our timeline 3 months after Order 66 must be invisible with the new Star Wars movies out. One's out in the bag, more are coming, and everyone's focused on the new era, the new order. But I had to start somewhere. And thank God for the movie Rogue One, which kind of reminded of us that the classics are the best stuff. But before Rogue One, years before Rogue One, Bail Organa took it upon himself to stand up quietly, politically, against this new Emperor Palpatine. And 3 months after Order 66, he has decided to hire some mercenaries to do some of his dirty work, his wet work. He has sent them to Felucia, a remote jungle planet, where an Imperial facility, a prison facility, is holding one Admiral Gilder Varth. This man, according to Organa, has been leaking him information, and then he got caught, and he's being held prisoner. And our mercenaries are going to go and bust him out. A couple bumps along the way. Didn't really hit it off well with the female captain, Captain Serena O'Keefe, aboard the Banshee, their space yacht. Then there was the crash landing, meeting of the locals. Now, Poser Sham has picked up a little bit of extra force training from the local shaman. Always good. He's been left to reflect on that training, which might actually come into concrete feats and powers when he levels. But for right now, it's sort of an introspective Poser Sham for the next little while as he processes what he's learned. And the mission is still right before them. The immediate threat, their new allies in the jungle, the native Felucian people, were spotted by scouts from said outpost, and an exciting chase occurred aboard Kybux, something akin to a goat-like space kangaroo. And interesting enough, our largest rider turned out to be Merrick, as sort of a intuitive riding skill Kybuk whisperer. Did very well during this chase. Tracking down the scouts, battle ensued, and now trekking all the way back to the village, finding the once absent Poser Sham leaning on his brand new speeder bike that he got in another minor encounter. The heroes come together once more with the Felucian natives. The children, the sick Felucian children, are recovering under the administration of our own Dr. Askaleth, and the party discusses their next move. To move now, while time is right, before they possibly are discovered, to wait nightfall and head out the next day. We go now to a small secluded hut off to the side where refreshments and hearty congratulations from some of the warrior braves and a few of the Felucian scouts are being bestowed upon our mercenary band as they sit around a squalid hut discussing their next move. Gentlemen, what do you want to do?
I want to party like it's whatever year 99.
Like it's episode 4. Nope, that's years away. Sorry. Now, see, if Poser actually invented the Cantina riff, it's working it out. This is how this journeys, and then the Biff band steals it or something, and he gets royalties from that, from his level of noble. That would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
But seriously, guys, open forum. You all sit around discussing what to do.
Yeah. Figure out a game plan of action to infiltrate this place to get the Admiral.
Okay. Your former separatist gone native, Varzith Mandrake, has been serving as your translator, sits with you as well, and is very curious, sort of lean in on the conversation and want to know, what you guys plan to do next.
Right. So here's what I'm thinking. We'll have Merrick rig up some sort of time detonation device, plant it on the other side of the facility, Give us enough time to get back to the other side. When it goes off causing a distraction, we work our way into the base. At the very least, it'll pull some eyes away and maybe a couple bodies to make if we got to fight, it'll make it a little easier on us.
A sudden realization comes over Mandrake's face, nodding rapidly, and he holds up a finger and sort of gets up from the circle.
Hey, you guys, don't go anywhere. I think I got something up my sleeve you guys will really get a kick out of.
And runs out like he's gone off to do something or get something.
Wonder what that's all about. Yeah, Merrick, I totally just said you get to make a bomb.
Indeed, I can do this, but I will need a watch. You have watch, do you not?
He just opens up his jacket and there's like 40 watches dangling there.
It's the origin story.
All those alleys on Zelzon Station, and this never came out till now. All the natives are all walking around. You guys just notice now, you look around.
They're all wearing Rolexes.
They're all wearing watches and showing them to each other, and like, we never noticed this, you know. What do they pay you in?
Favors.
Future favors. All right. Yes, a time device, I suppose, would help with the construction of an explosive device, Merrick. And time. You need to gather resources.
I do.
Yes. Does anyone have any intel on standard Imperial facility structure?
I probably do.
There might have been a book in the libraries about that.
I suppose this would come under galactic lore, with the Imperial's favor, you know.
This sounds like tactics.
Well, the tactic would be how to breach type of thing, not what construction, materials that do they favor lately.
Well, I just roll it now because I know eventually I'm going to call for it.
Could also be knowledge bureaucracy.
Yeah, slight adjust up and down of the DCs depending on how close and how far we get away from that, but yeah. All right, has everybody done their little roll-off here? Lots of rolling a dice, but no one seems brave enough to start calling out what they got.
I rolled a knowledge galactic lore of 19 and a knowledge bureaucracy of 11.
Okay.
Knowledge galactic lore 15, knowledge bureaucracy 21.
All right. And Ryan?
Knowledge tactics 27.
Okay.
He is so tactily intelligent.
I'm going to make the best time bomb ever, just you watch.
Poser, Old Man Zin. Do you have any of those skills, or can you think of a skill that could possibly be bent to our will?
Nope. Let's see here. Galactic lore. Sorry. Nope. I'm pulling up nothing. Galactic lore 11, and tactics even worse.
Okay. So, let's say, without breaking down each number, you guys discuss what you think without much recon, possibly also discussing with the locals, gather information, like what they know about the facility itself, and have Mandrake translate for you when he gets back.
Well, that's probably a good idea. Just talk to Mandrake to gather information, because he'd probably have a good idea. He might know, like, scouting patrol times and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to ask him, but then he got excited and ran out of the room.
So yeah, I wonder what that was all about.
Well, let me tell you first what you collectively know at the moment. Standard Imperial construction facilities tend to favor metal walls that have damage reduction of 10 and 115 hit points and a threshold of 35 per section. Large blast doors, metal doors that have a damage reduction of 10 and 50 hit points and a threshold of 30. And they also tend to have smart computer systems that have a decent intelligence and will defense to keep you out. That said, the new skill set of Merrick, where he can make little grenades and stuff, is not going to be enough damage to sort of blast our way in.
No, but I might be able to convince somebody to get us inside.
That's true. Next, we have Mandrake actually returns and sits cross-legged, and he's got like this large hockey bag, satchel with him.
Sweet.
And he's just smiling at you guys. Coming in on the conversation where you guys sort of describe what you think the building materials are, he comes in and just starts nodding like, yep, that's it. That's exactly it. Gives you a basic size, so many squares by so many squares. And then we get to the realization that Merrick's homemade MacGyver bombs aren't going to do it. And he slowly unzips his giant duffel bag.
This baby, it'll blow through a thermite wall like that.
Now, you guys have not had much luck with duffel bags. You have not had a lot of luck with crates. Especially Merrick and Rahal recently have gotten upset when the GM suddenly revealed, finally, its contents. But guys, Once in a while, the galactic universe gives you one for free. Mandrake has a crap ton of high-grade, high-yield explosives that he kept from the war, and he's been sitting on them, wondering what to do with them, thumbing his nose at the Empire and smoking with the natives until now. And he sets this out in front of you guys.
Well, looky here, Merrick. It looks like today is your birthday.
Oh my god, is it the 996?
Merrick's practically in tears.
You just hear that, hallelujah,
Yeah.
hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Okay.
Now this is the bomb.
Hey, yeah, look at this big guy. I know you want to take a peek at this. Now, you got to be real careful with this. This is the stuff they entrusted us mercs with back when they thought we'd be sapping through big explosives and giant crowds of people. So if you're not careful, you'll lose a little bit more than your arm.
Merrick turning does the silent crying man hug towards Mandrake, just engulfs the man.
Poof. All right, big guy. Look, as long as you promise to set those off far away from me, consider that a going away present.
Thank you.
No words. It would just be a silent hug.
So I'll turn to Mandrake. Now, there's a few things I'd like to ask you, if you don't mind me picking your brain.
Are you saying you've never seen what one of these can do? Well, I won't show you because, frankly, that'd be a little bit overkill. I think we'd have the attention of everyone who'd ever be worried about finding this little place we got here.
Wow. Well, that's mighty generous of you, and I think this is going to come in real useful.
He nods.
And I will gather some information off of his face in regards to anything he can tell me about troop locations, if they have like a shift change, if they've got a regular like shuttle drop or anything like that.
You guys lean in to hear what he has to say, and the camera slowly pans backs out of the doorway of the hut, and some scouts walking by get called in by Mandrake. And as the camera floats up above the atmosphere, way above the village, and then comes back down on the Banshee, where we have a Captain O'Keefe, covered in grease and wiping her brow and turning to Arthur and says, good job, little man. He says, I have half a mind to buy you off of these hoodlums. Well, I'm going to go up front and fire it up. And R4 beeps and whirls proudly at his accomplishment and starts closing up panels or whatever. And sure enough, a couple steps later, you hear that classic gunning up of the engine, the fail. Spark, poof. And then you hear Captain O'Keefe come over a comm link, echoing in R4's head. What happened? I'm not getting any juice up here. And R4 starts beeping and whirling and whipping open panels and start digging out guts of the engine again. And the camera slowly floats back away, high up into the atmosphere, all GTA 5 style, showing you the city, and then slowly comes down. As the camera pans back in, time is sped up and the sun moves position. So by the time the camera focuses back down on the Imperial Felucian prison facility itself, we assume that time has gone by. Gentlemen, let me call your attention to the new map.
Ooh, it's so dark and scary.
It is. And unfortunately, already I've revealed too much.
Ah, crap. Boss room's still open.
I know where the artifact is.
No,
So-
you don't.
For purposes of saving space, all right. First, let's zoom in on your character. Oh, what's this?
I see a glowing circle around me.
Oh, not only that, it's color-coded to your dice color.
Ooh, fancy.
You all have a reasonable facsimile dice color. Dr. Leth is green, Rahal is red, Merrick and orangey brown, Zin purple, Poser blue, and the Felucian scout who led you here, automatically helping Zin, and since he kind of knows the way we're avoiding natural hazards and such, brings us to the edge where we now stand in the jungle tree line. And much further away than it appears on the map with your miniatures, the prison facility stands before us. stormtroopers stand guard at the facility's blast doors, while a low hum of a speeder engine slightly off in the distance indicates that there may be scout troopers on patrol nearby. Cue the DM's first dice drop.
All of our fates have now been decided.
You don't know how often that is true. With this dump of dice, which could probably argue to be a roll or possibly not, I am plucking d20s and assigning them to you, also color-coded on the colors you guys have chosen.
Uh-oh.
And as tempting as it would be for me to run out and buy my very own neon green die to see what fate of 1s or 20s it might roll, that's another story and another podcast. My own tell you Zin, and Zin alone. You hear off the distance heavy thudding sounds along with the noises of plants being crushed. And I'm not talking about a T-Rex. I'm talking about a mechanical thud. A like giant steps in the more distant jungle.
Do we have our Kaibucks still?
Yes, you do.
Sweet.
If you want them.
Yeah, I think Kaibucks would be a great thing to have.
Wait, do I have a Kaibuck or the speeder?
Which one did you want to bring?
I'd say stealth would dictate the Kaibuck, but that's just me.
I do remember the speeder did have a auto-fire cannon mounted to it.
This is true.
Now, if you guys want to bring the Kaibucks, they will let you have them. Their idea was to walk you through the jungle so we could go, approach on stealth. Because once you guys go in there, but I'm assuming you want the Kaibucks for like a quick getaway?
Yep.
To ride out of Dodge?
Have the Kaibucks tied to this tree. Or mushroom.
Well, you could probably leave the Kaibucks with the scout, but...
Yeah, that'd be probably exactly what we'd do. I'm not going to take him in. Go ahead, our frontline Felucian. You take the lead.
Zin is standing there going, Scout? Oh, Scout. Oh.
Scout? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the speeder bike is concerned, would it be possible to set it up so it does things on its own?
Like generate power to a large weapon we might retrieve later? I don't know, possibly.
Well, no, I meant like
autopilot?
Like an autopilot kind of thing.
Considering how dense the jungle it is, it might drift or just drive at whatever maintaining speed and just like thunk into something and just kind of sit there, jackknifed against a tree.
Oh, believe me, we can make this a bomb as well.
Hey, could we have that thing like rocket across the like a clearing or something?
I was just gonna
shoot it out the door.
What was it? Rocket? What was it we used to do in Battlefield 3? They called it boom biking. We put the C4 on the front of the motorcycle and just drive it towards a tank and then jump off and let the bike go. And as the tank's loading its huge cannon at you, you pull out your little detonator and go, "Hi there!" Ding! And 3 things of C4 go off in its face. Kaboom!
No, I think Posher should hang on to that. I think a space Harley suits his mystique.
So Merrick and Zin are already talking about uses for his new ride, and Rawls like, "It's okay, buddy. We won't make you sacrifice the bike."
Like, dude, it's all about the style.
You think he's a moody teenager now? You take away his motorcycle, and it's going to be all kinds of dark side and riots in his little room, and you don't want to.
I can almost hear the Bon Jovi song playing in the background when he's riding it.
I'm wanted, dead or alive.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna leave it at the camp.
Okay,
So,
are you sure?
damn it, Jeff.
Because we'll blow it up.
I can see benefits from what you guys are talking about with this bike right now, and I can see
it too much. But I think Aiden could be playing a guitar while we fire it and set it on fire at the same time.
have him standing on it, driving it with one foot and going sideways, strafing while playing the guitar.
No,
you guys
playing
want this track?
The image,
like Norwegian
the image
death
alone.
metal.
Yeah.
Thunder.
Giant eyebrow hair.
Okay, you guys are literally trying to make my Ghost Rider character like 3 months early. I appreciate it. I really do.
Actually, I'm referring to something that you guys did with the last bike, and a question was raised about what you could do with it. And Merrick asked, "Can I do this?" And I said yes, and you guys did something with the last speeder bike. And then you guys said, hey, can we do this, this, and this? And I said, no, you need a fresh bike for that. Fast forward to now, and it seems like you guys have completely forgotten those conversations about 101 things you could do with the speeder bike. Or,
those conversations were had 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well,
no,
yeah,
Jeff, I remember,
Jeff.
but it's my speeder bike. So
it's my bike. Get off. It's my bike.
It's fine.
Well, hey, I was the one that retrieved it,
Yeah,
and was fixing it up.
So do you want to leave it safely at the village?
Yeah, that's what I was planning on doing.
Okay, so remember how I said time passed by?
Yeah.
Okay, so cutscene where, Mandrake is giving rides to the newly recovered Felician children ripping through the jungle. Whee! The kid, they got 3 kids on the back. Like baby Groots from, they're flying away. Yeah!
That's awesome.
And then they probably trash it, but we'll get back to that. Percentage chance that... Let's make Aiden roll. The percentage chance that Mandrake trashes his bike while he's gone. Bringing joy to the children. You can't shoot me for that.
Do you want it rolled, Jeff?
It's why we can't have anything nice.
Ooh, look at that. All right. We'll save that roll for later. So anyway, per facility, minus speeder bike, some Kai bucks, and a scout. Okay? So you guys are sitting here eyeballing this place. 2 guards out front. You will also notice here there is a turret, like a castle turret, quite literally, with a big gun sticking out and a sort of one-way tinted plasteel thin arrow slit sideways glass plate steel window all the way around it. Kind of like a scout post. So you'd have
What's the terrain? What's
Here?
the terrain like around?
It's jungle that they've sort of cleared back a little bit. Like the jungle is very nearby, but they need some room, so that people wouldn't just like jump out as close as you guys are, like 5 squares away and just suddenly, you know what I mean? So there's there's the advantage of having a mounted cannon. Like they have like a long range, like there's got to be a good 100, 200, 300 squares or whatever from the forest line to the front door.
Any really tall mushrooms nearby?
No. Like so they've cleared it. They probably just had the walker like stomp around the snow and in the jungle in small consecutive circles, so there's all this underbrush. So while contemplating a way in...
Can we contemplate with knowledge tactics?
Yes, you can. Would you like to use Merrick's roll?
Yes, we would.
Okay, so Merrick has this idea of how to blow up the way in, because that's what the original roll was for, was talking about structure, and I gotta get the... blow up the way in.
I am not opposed to this idea.
Tactically speaking, maybe there is a back door.
No.
Did Zin mention what he heard in the distance?
Not yet.
Shh. Do you guys hear that? That sounds like a walker in the background.
What? I heard no walker. Walker? Who's walking?
Shh, do you smell something?
Do you smell something?
The Ghostbuster line, Dan Aykroyd.
Ghostbusters.
He's like, listen, do you guys smell something?
Yeah.
I was like, shh, listen.
So I hear the faint kind of whirl thud,
And crushing of plants in the...
and I look around, look around. Shh, you feel that? There's a walker somewhere over there, and I kind of vaguely point, sweeping my arm at about 100 degrees somewhere over there.
Oh, nice.
So whatever we're gonna do, we'll need to get in quick. Otherwise, we won't stand long against that thing.
Hold up a second, guys. Gives me an idea. And then I turn over to Merrick and look at him. Do you want to steal an Imperial walker?
A gleam in Merrick's eyes all of a sudden just shine because he doesn't see. He doesn't say anything. He shows no emotion, but all of a sudden his eyes are a little more shiny than they were a second.
Sparkle in his eye. Ding.
The answer to that question should always be yes.
Can one say one has too many walkers?
I mean, if you've got more walkers than people.
Rick could say that.
So
As long as you got more walkers than Krista.
While you guys are gleaning over the new idea of your suicide mission, taking on a walker on foot in the jungle, our scout starts edging the tree line, kind of motioning you guys to follow, and starts skirting the map around to the northwest side, trying to sort of does a 180 at the spot here, taps you guys to follow, goes back, like disappears in the tree line, and starts trudging along and starts skirting along around the base. And he's not going back to the Kaibucks. What do you guys want to do?
Okay, follow him.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Continue the plans for a suicide run against the walker? No? Oh. So, skirting the edge all the way around. Our scout brings us to the back corner of the facility and points at a cross-section of the corner where you guys can see a large ventilation grate, not too high off ground level, like not even 10 feet off the ground. Right here. Anyway, without Mandrake and the droid, you're not sure exactly what the scout is saying, but, you know, he waited for you guys to follow him. He snuck all around the back. And
did he point at it?
He is. He's looking at you guys, and he's pointing at it.
Okay. We're like, what could this possibly mean?
Come on, episode 6, give him the shaft. Like, it's a ventilation grate. What do you think it's for?
Social sciences to interpret him.
He believes that you might be able to gain access through the shaft if you could possibly quietly remove the grate.
Okay. What do we see any visible cameras or defenses on the outside of the facility in this area?
Good question. Learned from the hangar bay incident where you guys just waltzed in there and then Poser looked up and found a camera later.
Yeah, when we stored a dead body or unconscious body directly underneath it.
I mean, sorry, you don't seem to find a camera. You don't see any cameras or that type of surveillance. Just solid walls. Now, the structure is 2 stories. The main story you can see here is approximately, 50 by 60 squares. So that would like, 120 meters, this and that. Pretty much rectangular. I mean, it has some protruding features like the door and the turret and this and that, and there's a back rounded corner, and this corner's cut off. On top, when we were further away, you can see a second story, and it is much smaller. So, like, on the roof of this place is like a much smaller level with no easily spotted doors or windows. What do you guys want to do?
Sneak up to the grate and examine it.
All right. Can I have 2 stealth rolls apiece, please?
Well, this might not go so well.
Cue the Mission Impossible music.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
You got to kill that noise after 6 seconds, or before 6 seconds, Frank, or we get copyright for I like Poser's start to this. Poser starting off with a 5.
Yeah.
With his classic.
I got a 19 and a 17.
Oh
Jay.
Somehow I got 2 natural ones.
Jay,
well, hey, you got him out of the way early.
What are you guys doing? Why are you moving so slow?
wow. Like,
what is going on?
How many times have you guys seen in a Star Wars movie where like the last guy to come along with everyone else is 3PO, and he's shuffling along and he's prattling like, I don't understand why we have to do this, blah, 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 right? Okay. Leth comes tumbling last out of the bushes and snaps a twig and back swats a fly and it's something else that big dragonfly
dirt off.
Yeah, dirt off. It just makes a whole bunch of rough and tumble slapstick vaudeville stuff, and something that would even make 3PO go, shh, master, dude. That kind of thing. Anyway, wasting Merrick's 25, where he just, looms. There's like shadow walks behind a tree and just comes out of the landscape in front of you guys.
Could I maybe use that high stealth check to kind of negate it by trying to cover his ask us extra sound with like what I assume like the natural fauna sounds like?
Well, you guys can actually use aid another on any skill. So 2 guys could tag team 1 guy and help them with a skill check and hit DCs of 10 to give that guy a +2. So it'd be like you make your stealth check and then stand there, and while Askaleth makes his, coach him on being quiet, and you guys could hit your DCs giving him like a +4. That type of thing. Which I'll let you guys contemplate that type of action with all kinds of stuff. Did you guys know that in this game you can actually aid another to shoot? So
what?
Yeah, you can. You can actually, like, say Rahal, who barely hits anything, right? Takes a DC 10 to hit a target. It's almost like he's doing tracer fire for Merrick and you guys with the big guns to land better shots against something that has a high reflex. You could totally aid another
melee attacks.
I believe so. Yeah, you guys could totally. So you wouldn't get as many shots in because Rahal isn't actually shooting the target, but you know what I mean.
But you're landing the hits.
But he's like.
Yeah, but I've got a way higher chance of hitting a DC 10 to help one of you guys hit.
Giving you guys a +2.
Yeah, I can't miss.
Like, say you guys come up against something with a high reflex and no one's hitting it. Then some of you guys could just start going, right, aid another, line up blaster shots, distract the target who's jumping around and getting boxed in, or, that type of thing. So something to consider going in. Now, the stealth, I'm going to let stand. You guys come stumbling out. Some do well, some do horrible, and there you all are at the grate, thinking about what have we learned, Dorothy, and what we'll do next time. And tonight's blaster fire tip is the last nice, helpful thing I'm going to do, because we must be on episode insert number here by now. So you guys you've each seen battle. You've each seen combat several times apiece, and you're all experienced players. So we're just going to let it roll. Upon reaching the grate, you guys find that it's actually not bolted properly. It's kind of, from the atmosphere and wear and tear, has rusted a bit, and some of the bolts have pulled.
And who's going to break into this backwater prison anyways?
That's true. So they haven't really bothered repairing it. And it is holding itself up there. It's just kind of in disrepair. It's not, it's not like it's been ripped off and just like taped back on. It is there, and the original bolts are there, but it's not like it's bolted on going, we need a ratchet or high power, spinner drill or hydrospanner kind of thing. It's like someone could literally, with a decent amount of force, pry this thing off. Assuming you
let's get to prying.
As soon as you get up to it.
Hey, Laura, why don't you help me open up this jar of pickles?
Nice. He's pointing at you, Merrick.
I pull.
It's an Orville reference.
A very good Orville reference.
Yep.
I don't suppose there'd be any way to take it off and then be able to put it back on, though.
Mechanics?
Yeah.
You rang.
Do this. I get a...
Who brought a toolbox?
Can I?
I did.
Okay.
23. How do you think I make bombs?
All right. Well, do you guys want to aid another to make sure that he gets this going?
I will take help. Wrench.
Okay. I have a question, though. Shouldn't you guys, use strength and rip it off and all enter before you start securing it to the face? Because right now I see you guys all on the outside making mechanic rolls, shaking each other, pat each other back, going, yeah, we're going to fix this good. No one's going to know we came through here.
Wait.
You guys all jumped out, Doctor.
I thought we were trying to get it off. I didn't realize
Leth makes an observation about, hey, can we make it so, no one, saw us go through here? And they're like, yeah, we can do it, Handy Hammer starts banging away, making it perfectly new again.
The bars are double the thickness.
Well, I meant if we rip it off the wall, it might be harder to put back on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, though we can kind of take it off, but kind of do it safely.
I see.
I've got a screwdriver.
Poser is going to grab out of his duffel bag of mysteries a hydrospanner and toss it to Merrick.
Okay. So,
which is used to tighten and loosen all forms of screws and fasteners.
All right. So you guys are looking to disassemble the grate so that you can put it back, as opposed to just ripping it off.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, hooking up to a
much more difficult DC, but doable.
Okay.
All right. And with your standing mechanics rolls with your standing mechanics rolls I'm looking at here, 23, 19 with your aid there, Hall, as well. No problem. So you guys do strip some bolts, wear and tear, but you're pretty sure that if you had to put it back in place, you could.
And just pull it back onto the shafts and just finger tight the bolts through the grate on the other side so that it'll be literally, you just got to give it a finger spin to knock them off.
A good kick?
Yeah, that would do it too.
All right.
So that if we need to make a hasty retreat through here, we can.
Strip the bolts.
All right. So, with a assuring nod and making sort of prancing pony.
Yes.
Our guy goes off back into the woods towards the Kaibucks.
I wanted to ask a question before we get too far into the facility here. How many explosives did we get?
They're pretty vague, but they do say that they are powerful.
Could we plant them as we go inside to level this facility once we're done here?
It's more of a... the charges, if you glump them together, then you get some serious damage done in a key spot kind of thing.
Okay, yep.
Okay. Now,
it's just kind of, yeah.
Flashback to you guys getting your Kaibucks, right? And Merrick and Mandrake, bro bonding and discussing, the finer mechanics of explosives and their use, okay? Mandrake says you guys should find the communication center and blow it up, because that would be the most crippling thing you could do to a prison facility, because it's also like a relay station. between the ship and the orbit, between everything on the planet. If you don't have enough explosives to like level the place, at least, you know, render it brain dead.
Did he have any interior knowledge of the facility? Like,
well, he sees the comm tower, like the dish type of thing on top, and he knows what series it is, and runs it by you guys, saying, okay, so if it's got this kind of hardware on top, it's got to have this kind of guts and juice inside somewhere. He doesn't know where it is, but you guys should find the comm center and, you know, cutting off the head of the snake, as it were.
So from looking at the outside of the building, are the comm towers and relays on the same side as the secret entrance?
No, they're actually on as high as they can be, so they've actually been placed dead center on the subroof of the second story. That doesn't necessarily make that the comm center, but you know what I mean. I mean, you don't put your Bell dish right on top of your television. It goes on the side of your house wherever the best satellite reception is. In this case, they've put it dead center straight up for a maximum yield out, up, and away. However, possibly with your skill set and questions asked once inside, you could track your way there. Now, Matt said earlier about being a completionist, wanting to kick open every door and lick every wall and kill everybody inside and get to the bottom of everything. That is a good idea. But I would like you guys to keep in mind that the more Imperial doors that you kick open, the more chance of getting shot at and losing your characters.
So we enter the shaft. How big is the shaft? Is it like 5, like a cubic square? You know what I mean? Like 5 feet type of deal?
It's a major air like intake exchange. Like you guys
air? Sweet. So it's not a sewer. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, it's a...
Is the shaft pretty long?
It's part of the...
It looks like a long shaft.
It just breaches
this
the wall.
This is why I like you, Rao. Last boss I had, I cruised through sewer so many times.
Yeah. So as soon as I'm out of the jungle and into the air duct, I'll change into my the Imperial informant outfit.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Throw on some of that Imperial armor. That's a great idea.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
If I'm not already in it.
Now, is this to be the one prisoner? Help me, because there's 4 mercenaries on you, and put these binders on Chewie.
How many of us actually have a set of stormtrooper armor?
Well, we had 4 sets of armor.
Oh yeah.
And we had 5 sets of armor.
So you guys want to like crawl in the vent and then change in the hallway? That's awesome.
And changing the vent.
I'm changing in
the vent is 1 square. Like you guys are literally in this wall. You can only put 2 guys in this vent before you got like.
Could we be trying to deliver me to the prison section?
That's kind of what I was thinking. Pull a page right out of the
out of cannon.
Yeah, it's because look, I'm big. Of course, there'd be a bunch of like Imperials around.
There's a prison transfer to.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
The first thing I would like to locate is a data port where I can see what kind of information we can pull out of the localized system. Mm-hmm. Spend a bit of time and see if we can hack in and all that fun stuff. Because knowledge is power.
Yeah. Well, if we're in an air intake, are we near any of the communication lines?
Okay.
Or waves that are out there?
I'm using Fog of War, so you guys are really sort of frazzled at what you're looking at. The thick, 1 square thick black line with a grate over it is the air intake. You guys are now standing in a 2 square hallway. This is actually a hallway. Yeah. So I looking at the sort of the player map, I'm like, oh, they think they're like looking at this air duct where they can go this way or that way, and they're in the air duct. It's like, no, the air duct is like a 1 square wide, breach the wall, dumps through, like a return air between 2 bedrooms in a house kind of thing, dumps you into.
All right, are there any doors we can see nearby, and no. Also keep it open for
quite conveniently on this map, they've placed the loose grate in an empty hallway, which is, at the moment out of sight. But you can guess, considering you already know the dimensions of the entire structure, and what you can see actually takes up a third in each direction, you guys are horribly lucky and probably have very little time before somebody comes walking down a corner. This was why I was laughing. You guys are like, oh, we're all here. Get the bag and just start putting on your armor. Who wants to be the
No, okay, so if that's the case, yeah, then no, we're not going to do that. We're going to get in and see if we can find a place to hide and then do that stuff. Look for a data port.
Okay.
Try and find some indication as to the layout of the facility, where the communications room is, because that should really be our first.
This looks like the short side of the hallway, so priority. Can I sneak forward and try to take a look that way?
Sure, go stealthing. What will Zin see And more importantly, what sees Zin?
Nothing sees Zen because he is a smooth mofo.
Zin,
13 on the stealth score.
you see the main hall, the back of the front doors, a quadruplex of turbo lifts in the center that probably go up and down, a couple doors on the inside wall you're on, and some more doors on an adjacent kitty corner wall. So to imagine that you guys are in a basic rectangular on its side layout, going to the top left corner, the northwest corner, which is cut off through a vent, you've dumped into a hallway that's 2 squares wide, the proverbial 10-foot wide hallway, that goes along each wall. There's one that goes left to right, and there's one that goes top to bottom. Zin has started to skirt his way along left to right and is making his way east into the vicinity, peeking down around the corner of a hallway into a large sort of audience hall type chamber, which is easily 8-10 squares across and a good 20 deep. In the center of it, again, this is sort of a rectangle shaped hall that's now vertical. In the center of it is a quadruplex of turbolifts dominating the center. If he were to reach out his right hand and slap it down around the corner, he would say that there are 2 sets of doors on that wall. And from your angle, that's probably all I should give you.
Yep.
Okay, so making kind of a perception check. Let's see if I have anything hiding out there with a 22.
Okay.
Do I hear like the sounds of boots on the ground? Do I hear talking? Anything like that?
Yes. You hear the distant lone one or two stormtrooper, you know.
Did you see The Running Man last night? Oh yeah, it was a really good episode.
And that's coming from all the way down here.
All right, so I'll kind of hold one hand up, kind of SWAT style, 2 fingers up, indicating, at least 2 people talking, and then I'll kind of sneak around the corner.
Okay.
And I'll move right to the very first set of doors, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And before I do anything with the doors, I'll make another perception check to see if I can gauge whether or not the voices are coming towards me or away from me, or remaining still. I got a 25.
The echo that's coming from this hallway, they don't seem to be moving. There's sort of a back and forth. There's one voice that's slightly further away than the other.
Well, thank God Roll20's treating me nice for this.
Tonight, yeah.
Normally it's not the case.
Normally that is not the case. Before Zin here wakes up the dungeon, let's check in with everyone following behind him. So we've got Merrick, who's scooted up to the corner, okay? And probably only the one that can actually understand his fist pumps and everything, even without a tactical roll. So Merrick, what are you doing?
Shadowing him. That is my job, yes.
Okay. Dr. Leth, tucked in right behind him. We've learned our cover lesson, obviously, from the last
Yes, I'm quite literally hiding behind him.
Just riding on, hanging on him
I have 100% cover. This is going to go good.
Just shrink down and be the Yoda backpack in Dagobah, right? Just hang on to him there.
Hey, I mean, he's also the most likely to get hit, and I'm the person he'd want beside him at that point in time.
Right. Just get the bed back.
Oh, no arguments.
There you go. And not adjacent, but on a square away, we have Rahal.
He was basically doing the same thing Dr. Leth is.
Letting the tactic guys
just
handle the situation, yeah?
Yep, okay. Yep.
Which brings us last, but certainly not least, to Poser. And again, Poser, I ask you, now that you've opened yourself up to the Force, and he's making perception checks, do you wish to do the same?
Not with the Force.
Well, you can use the Force instead of a perception roll to reveal concealed objects. Like guys hiding around corners.
Yeah.
Or are you just afraid of pinging right now?
Terrified of pinging.
I'm terrified of pinging.
Okay, Jeff, let's think about this. 3 months after Order 66 in an Imperial outpost, albeit in kind of the backwater boonies of the galaxy.
Well, I think
it's still like, at least among the jungle and the wildlife and the entire village, he figured he was safe in comparison. But now it's like any somewhat sensible Force user, even someone that's Force sensitive, would be able to tell there's no, besides the basic humans and various aliens that might be in here, there's not going to be any real Force users. Right. So any large pings are going to be immediately detected.
So using that to your advantage, any major Force user like the shaman that you picked up, though he hit himself pretty good and still is, would probably be another Jedi hiding like yourself, possibly a master who's more powerful than you, or, God forbid, there has been rumors Now, one of the reasons we never have gotten too far into Poser's backstory, and now I think is a really good time for a 3-minute glimpse of that. When your master died, and being disgruntled against the world, and we have this whole joke, this identity you assumed of the goth teen becoming Poser Sham, it allowed you access to miserable, moody teens are usually glared at, but forgotten about pretty quickly, and people go back to conversations. And there has been in the last 3 months, conversations about after the initial push and 3 months of just, Jedi get them, just gunning them down, and Jedi finally getting the hint and then receding, taking off the robes, hiding the lightsabers, going into the underground, and then fighting their instincts to save people or use their powers to jump out and help the common people like they always had been, and trying to sit on that urge. You actually had shut it out. A rumor has risen that our new emperor, self-proclaimed, who is going about, now you wouldn't hear the rumors about the Senate, so I'll leave that alone. There is a new piece on the playing board, an Inquisitor, highly skilled people that are specifically brought in to deal with troublesome Jedi that regular soldiers, bounty hunters, and such have been unable to apprehend or kill. The Imperials bring in the Inquisitors. Luckily, they are a new thing. There are not a lot of them. But their number is growing, their power and reputation precedes them. And while you sat atop your mushroom, in your resin goo, taking the tough love Goku balls from this shaman, who whispered and put emotional imagery of thought and contemplation directly into your little brain. Do this, do this, do this, and then adapt, and left you with your thoughts. Right before you heard the humming of the speeder bike and jumped down and decided to do something violent with the guy and get yourself a new Harley, you were reaching out to the Force, and somebody else, not far away, had decided that it was that time of day where they, they've done their job, they had their cereal, they had their Wheaties, they kissed the wife, whatever they were doing. But it was time for them to sort of look out across the galaxy with their third eye, reach out to the Force.
Morning stretch.
Yes, as you were. The sun coming up on Felucia, And you felt a wave of Force reaching out in a loud ping. And it caught you just as you were shutting down, as luck, perhaps even destiny would call it. You were turning off, shutting down, and as luck would have it, the will of the Force had you completely snap back awake and focus on your surroundings as opposed to being tapped into the big river, just as something big decided to sort of stick its head in the pond and have a look around. And this ping was powerful, and it was close, and it was above you. Way up. So when the GM asks you now, so would you like to reach out with the Force? And you're like, no, I am terrified. I'm guessing this is why. Because if it isn't, it certainly is now.
No, you are right, Jeff.
Rahal, being closest to Poser. Poser seems distracted, constantly looking, checking our 6, which is good. The guy in the back should do this, but he's almost nervous and jumpy. And Poser walked across a battlefield bored, strumming his guitar a couple days ago. And now we go through a vent and we're in the jungle and you guys are alone and there's no hostiles and we're coming in here, and he doesn't seem to be eyes front worried on the stormtroopers like everybody else. He seems to be worried about where he was.
Yep. Yo, Poser, what's wrong? Maybe you should lay off the space weed. You seem a little paranoid today.
Just don't like being around Imperial bases.
Well, I can't say I blame you for that. I'm not too happy I'm here either, but job's a job, and you know what? Things seem to be going our way today. I got a good feeling.
Quiet, everyone.
Right, sneaky.
As they're talking back and forth, I'll kind of turn back and do the forked fingers to the eyes, to kind of look, and then motion for the rest of the guys to kind of look around the corner to make sure no one walks up behind us.
Yep.
And gets us caught in a crossfire. And then I'll look and see at the doors right in front of me, is there some kind of a control panel, or is it just some kind of a push button lever or card swipe to open the doors?
These doors here are sort of a simple key up. You know what I mean? Like they are electronically opened, but you just, push the button as it were.
Okay. Okay, so after kind of identifying the doors are relatively easy to open, I'll kind of put my ear to the door, see if I can hear anybody talking inside with a 15 on my perception.
Okay. You can hear the whirling and clicking of a droid-speaking binary. You can hear the roll and thumb of a generator and some computers.
All right, so I'll kind of hold a thumb and extended pinky, like I'm talking on the phone, and then motion inside the door. Like I'm thinking that this is some kind of a computer access room. I know it's difficult to relay.
Yeah, I didn't even get that. I was like, I'm glad you're explaining that because I'm lost.
Yeah, like somebody's talking on the phone and then motion in there.
Okay.
And then wave Merrick up. And then do the turbo lifts provide cover, like they go floor to ceiling?
Yes. If you look carefully, there are sort of black lines. Each of the doors to the turbo lifts face directly outward towards adjacent walls. So there are 2 facing west, 2 facing east. So the top and bottom wall are complete cover. Stepping into one is complete cover.
Okay. And then after I motion him forward, I don't know if I'm doing way too much in one round.
No.
But I'd like to kind of move behind cover right here and then take my rifle out.
Okay.
And just cover the south side of this hallway.
Where they're coming from?
Yeah, where I hear voices coming from.
Oh, you hear voices coming from down here.
Yeah, so I've got my rifle out and I'm just kind of looking down this way, but I can still
You should, what I've revealed here, you don't actually see that much, but if you line up your square, you just have a corner past you and then a faraway corner past him, and you're just catching the back of a stormtrooper. Technically, you'd have a shot. And he's facing away from you and he's engaged casually, just standing there casually.
Yeah, I'm not trying to draw attention, but I do kind of have this area covered if they start running our way. And I can, throw something into that room if need be.
So if you want to ready an action, you could sit here, take aim, and it's like if people start coming, I start shooting.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if I was using up too much time.
No. We're not really in rounds, and like I said, you're doing the right thing. Like as far as I'm concerned, these guys are quietly, happily letting you.
You're doing your job.
You're scouting. you're doing the point man thing. It's fine.
Okay.
But
so yeah,
after I kind of you're looking through the scope, and then you want to see if someone comes out the door. You could put an eye on the trooper and an ear on that door. So if you hear someone come through without turning your head, you could react. Or if you're looking through your scope, you know what I mean. But to sort of like look back. Like it's not a 180 turn, but you know what I mean. The 90 degree.
Yeah,
you're gonna miss something. So.
Yeah. So I am definitely going to keep an eye downrange.
Okay.
At the trooper, I can't quite see him, but I know he's right around the corner there, just based on how I can hear and stuff like that. So that's where I'm going to put the majority of my attention, and the barrel of my weapon is downrange.
Okay. So Merrick, he's waving you up.
I will move.
And so right beside him is a wall, right, of the turbo lift?
Yep.
All right. Let me move up.
Let's see if I can make these walls, as it were, a little bit more prominent, shall we say. We have a nice big thick wall here, and then this is the back of the turbo lift. And then we have a division here, and you have the bottom of the turbo lift, like so. The sides being open. Does that look a little bit more prevalent?
Yep, thank you.
Okay. It's a black and white map, so unfortunately. Now I've added color objects to try and make things stand out, or so the places look so boring, but it's only so much you can do with the background on a background map. So, shotgun, 2-on-2, SWAT team calling up his partner and then sort of covering long, which now allows me to reveal what you see here. The adjacent hallway ending, and there's doors. There's a door above us. There's a door in a little pocket hallway. There's a door down here. And if you guys can't obviously see, there are the front door where we're assuming there's still 2 stormtroopers stationed outside to the south.
Okay, and like old man Zin, I would like to get ready to shoot.
Okay. You want to ready an action to shoot what? Where are you here? You just covering their back? They're like out here, out to the fold?
Stormtrooper. First stormtrooper.
Okay. So you just want to watch the 3 doors, gun pointed down, and if anyone comes out of this door or that door, first thing you hear on this sort of arc, get the 180 arc while their attention is on this. Okay. Well, I must say you 2 work well together. That sounds tactically sound to me. Leth, your cover ran
Well,
away.
I suppose I suppose someone has to get the door, but
you.
So I kind of turn around to Rahal and like, we've got this. We can do this.
Now, we got a little muddled here, so let's go back in time. You guys thought that this hallway was a ventilation shaft, and you guys were talking about doing something here, then you corrected it, and then it was, no, you're not going to do anything. And then you talked about finding a place to hide to change into the Stormtrooper armor, which you have not yet. So is that still on the table?
Well, if we can, that'd be nice, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you guys want to search, like, start peeking your head indoors? Pick a door and see what's on the other side kind of thing? Or
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's a good idea. If Ascaleth's not going to, I'll go over here and as silently as possible. Let's see how sneaky I can be.
Okay.
Oh, can I take 10 or whatever? So I'll do that.
So for bureaucracy, now I should have given this to Zin, but I was so intent in his Mission Impossible, let's just say he was taking everything at face value. Just because the doors may or may not be marked, you do get the feeling that this facility is been altered because it's not upkept. The inside, there's paint on the doors, but it's old and scratched, and so even though this says it's a medical bay, it may not be one anymore. Even though this door up here says storage, possibly not anymore, right?
So, did Zin relay what he thinks is in here, or should I make my own observations?
The two war vets know that this was built during the war as from clones. What the Empire is doing with the facility now is they've made it a prison, but it may not have been originally built for that purpose, which means I've not bothered telling any of them what's written on the doors because they know from both being a part of the war that now that's over, the sign on the door doesn't mean shit anymore. I'm bringing it up to you as a separatist civilian going, oh, look, it says medical bay. Maybe it's a medical bay.
Yep. Well, I'll do the same thing. I'll put my ear and have a listen.
Okay.
And perception.
I noticed Dr. Lesmany magically appeared 18. Beside yours as soon as we said medical bay. You want to share the door there?
Well, no,
yes.
I was saying that I was going to. He just kind of left as is, and then I'm like, wait, no. I mean, you did ask me what I was going to do. I turned to Rahal first, and then let's go together. I wasn't saying after you, sir.
Well, I thought you were like, somebody should get the door, and I thought you were waiting for a sort of, well, that would be you, and you're like, fine, but you never kind of got that back and forth, so then Rahal just kind of went, excuse me, off he went. And then you mentioned Medical Bay, and I looked up at the map, and there he is, poof. Yes, here I am. All right. You guys give me a perception roll. I've got rolls here at 18, as well as Dr.
Oh, I wasn't going to look at the door. I was looking at the entry thing. Even if it's not difficult to open the door, it'd be more like I'm ready to push the button to open the door if necessary.
Oh, okay. Just waiting to get
I have the courage.
Okay. Yes, you can hear the clicking and whirling. There's something going on inside this room. You can hear the odd droid beep. You can hear machinery being operated. Something's going on here. It's certainly not a dead storage room or something.
Okay. I'll indicate to Dr. Leth to open the door.
Okay.
And I suppose I do so.
All right. This vast chamber seems at first to be a place of healing, at least until you take a closer look. Large back-to-tanks line one border of the room, and other medical equipment is distributed haphazardly throughout the area. Operating tables, many with clamps and others with restraint devices, seem to be scattered throughout the room with no real pattern to their arrangement. And the entire room has the same sterile smell of medical and decay.
Okay.
Roll for initiative, boys. Don't forget to click on your mini.
Click your mini and use the initiative at the top, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Sweet. I actually rolled a good initiative for once. Not even close to Poser and Merrick, but it's better than a 2.
It's always about being incremental.
Incremental?
Incremental.
Ah. Interesting. So. Pretty much on the lower half for my guys. I'll just quickly put these in here. What did you guys get?
I rolled a 17.
I got a 28.
29.
8.
Yay.
Zin?
I am so fast.
22.
Oh, that's all right. So, opening the door, as I had described, these large blue tanks are backed up, some crates on the bottom, some restraining beds, There is a single white lab coat attendant in the back right top of the room next to a service droid, like a medical droid, a 2-1B. And there are creatures strapped down to the medical beds, starting with Poser, who is still back around the corner dealing with issues. What do you want to do?
I guess at this point, I don't really know that they've done anything, so I'm just going to move up to the corner.
Okay. Now, you guys, don't forget you do have comms, right? If you guys just want to leave like a comm channel open and whisper into it constantly.
Yeah, which I'd imagine we would have our comms all open for this.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the thing we would do.
So a single move to the corner there, Poser. You have swift move, standard action, super force powers. Left, what do you want to do?
I can't really do much. So
you continue to move if you want a better position.
Oh yeah, and I'll post up behind the doctor, and I guess draw my weapon.
All right.
So
since you have a +1 base attack or more, you can do that. So while you stack on the door, get out the trusty axe. Next we have Zin. They're opening the door. It's not a clean shot, but you do have a shot on this guy.
You're missing Ryan.
Yeah, I didn't appear in the initiative order. I pressed the wrong initiative.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ryan delay.
Yeah, he's 20.
Delay.
My tongue sticks out on the left 45-degree angle.
Sorry, what did you get, Ryan?
28.
28. Sorry. All right.
Looks like you hit the wrong initiative button.
I did, and I learned that there is 2 initiative buttons, and there's also 2 perception buttons.
The man said top one. Anyway, okay. Sorry. So, Poser moves, stacks, pulls weapon. Edit. Merrick, you are up. Zin, you are on deck. Merrick, what do you want to do?
Oh, what do I see?
You got line of sight into the droid and the doctor.
See 2 guys blocking the door. You see straight in past them, and you see the droid and the doctor. But what you were saying you were focusing on was to see if their actions had interfered with anything behind you. You were watching this door here, so nothing.
Correct.
2R6 reacts. A quick glance over the door to see what's in there reveals 2 people in what looks like a medical bay. You want to stay in your guarded position, or you want to change your tactics?
I don't really see the dudes in the room, nor there are things I would like to do to that room.
There's a big feet strapped down to that end of the bed. You can see past Rawl's shoulder, and you can see guys in a corner working on a computer past Rawl. Kind of got like a Dr. Frankenstein vibe going on in there.
Okay.
But no stormtroopers.
Nope, doesn't trigger the ready to action, but I don't see it.
You can drop that. You want to drop your ready to action and just do what you wish to do.
And go with it? Yeah, I think I'm just going to try to... Would I be able to lob something in there?
It depends what your target is.
Dr. Frankenstein's area? What I want to fire is a gas grenade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but if you're not careful, you're going to hit Rawl in the back of the head with that thump.
That would be an unfortunate turn of events.
Because it would drop behind us and gas your own dudes.
Dude, you're so fired.
I mean, you could almost get all of us, so it'd be like a skilled fumble, but...
It would be, and that would be the time that the 1 rolls out, isn't it?
So what do you want to do?
I mean, I think I took care of the 1s for tonight, so we should be fine.
Do you have a rapid reload? Can you actually load the gas grenade into your launcher? Because as far as I know, your default grenade in that launcher is frag.
Right, but I could take a move action and reload that, couldn't I?
Yeah, but now
you can
either move in. You can either move up and get the shot and have to wait till next round to shoot, or you could take the shot from here and again risk, threading the needle, which you quite literally have to do past your friend who's in the middle of this doorway.
All right. So we see there's people there.
Yep.
That happening, I'm going to run up here to take the flank on Raoul.
Okay.
They both get behind me. I have these.
Okay.
And as I load in a gas grenade.
Yep. Very well, sir. Scoop paths in. Stack on the opposite side of the door on the south side next to Rahal. Load gas grenade. Indicate results. Zin. No reaction from the trooper as of yet. Lots going on in earshot right beside you. What do you want to do? Frank?
I'm like rambling on, realizing my mic was shut off. So from my position, do I have kind of any kind of a partial shot right here? Or is there too much junk in the way?
Well, basically, there's a +5 that you can ignore that you're leaning around. And then there is a +5 for him getting cover. If he stacks right to the corner, then he get a +10. But right now, he's got cover. So there's a +5 to his reflex. But other than that, technically, you have a straight clean shot.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take aim on him, and if he steps out, basically foregoing that cover, I'm going to pull a trigger on him.
Okay. So
does that make sense?
If he turns towards you and go, hey, he'll step in the hallway. What are you doing, right?
Hey!
Pull a gun. You're going to take his head off.
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Now, Rahal, you are up. And as the guy in the lab coat sort of turns towards you, like he's about to do something, what do you do, Rahal? It's your turn.
Okay.
Zin's taking a beat on the stormtrooper. It's your turn.
Zin's taking a beat on the stormtrooper. So the door's open. Has the guy turned to notice or whatever? Like, like the door's open in his head.
It's almost like his turn is next. He turns towards you like, huh? Him, the droid.
All right. So I'm going to... How many squares are we here?
He's got the Scooby-Doo look in his eye.
8, 10 squares.
What's going on, Raggy?
Okay.
What's it going to be?
I am going to take a couple steps in, and as soon as I'm a couple steps into the room, I'm going to look back to Ascaleth and say, right this way, Doctor. Let me give you a quick tour of our facility.
Okay.
And step in like I frickin' own the place. Doop-a-doop-a-doo, and motioning to Ascaleth behind me to come in and walk towards the guy in the coat.
All right. Can I have a deception roll, please?
Sure can.
And you can have 1, 2, 3, 6 squares.
Okay, back a step then. Deception. Submit. I got a deception of 26.
Oh, very nice.
All right. Right this way. Good doctor. Okay. He seems to buy it, and like anyone that's, interrupted in his work. What? Who are you? What are you doing here?
Oh, terribly sorry. Just carry on about your business like we aren't even here. I'm just doing a quick tour of the facility. We've got a research doctor that we may be bringing in to further the coverage of our research here.
Captain Vishera is the head scientist and captain of this facility. He's never told me that there is anyone visiting from the outside.
Oh, I hate this. You medheads can never get your lines straight. This has been planned for almost 3 years.
Can I have another deception, please?
Sure can.
Okay.
Can I roll like a knowledge, maybe like galactic lore, bureaucracy, or life sciences for like...
A deception of 32.
Dude.
Okay. Oh. Now, let's go around the table here, because I've kind of burned several rounds with you as you continuing your bullshit parade, right? Because I think I know what Dr. Leth's about to try and do. So, as you were saying, Dr. Leth, with sort of the temporary pause in the action here, I'm going to still keep it in rounds, okay? And he hesitates what's going on towards you. The droid's like beepity bop. The guys at the table do nothing, and Dr. Leth wanted to make a galactic lore bureaucracy check to find out what?
To find out who, just find out if the name that he mentioned,
sure,
the captain, is actually like a fairly prominent scientist.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Do I know that name? I read a paper by that guy. That's a good idea. Very, very, very good idea, Jay. All right.
Okay.
You want a bureaucracy in galactic lore?
You wanted bureaucracy in galactic lore.
Oh, okay. So I was wondering which one you wanted.
You can even roll tactics. I'm not going to tell you. However, if you hit the right one, good for you. Galactic lore is a good one. I'll give you that. Bureaucracy, yeah, I could see that possibly. So knowledge, bureaucracy 27, galactic lore 23.
I could also, if he's okay.
Yes, you've heard of this human, imperial, skeletally thin windbag. You read an interesting paper that the last time you hacked into the sort of galactic prestige world of doctorates. He was working on a stimulant, which is quite interesting, and that's what he tabled the paper as. Like, I'm going to make a stimulant where I could inject the subject, and even though he goes one down lower on the condition track as a persistent effect for 24 hours, he could actually receive the benefits of a second med pack within those same 24 hours. So, of course, there's, all kinds of conjecture of humming and hawing in the professional world of, is it worth it? That's a huge stress on the subject's body, blah, blah, blah. What turned you off was the subnotes. I have these test subjects. I've landed on no bones about saying he's picked a mudwater planet, landed on it, and just started experimenting on the local people.
Okay.
Now, didn't you just recently treat a bunch of sick children? for a disease that's obviously carried here, not like smallpox, but you know what I mean? Something that just, for a whole village to survive for years and no problems and build up an immune system. And then one fine day, you know, the Imperials are getting closer. Mandrake's talking about, you know, they've hid the village for so many years. And then all of a sudden, like within a week, all the kids, like the entire generation get sick at once.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like an outside stimulant, an outside source. Now, not that a stimulant causes a disease, but this is the exact kind of bastard who would just think that anything that's non-human is like an animal and to do with, you know, any kind of test subject.
Okay.
There is evidence right there before you on the table because you're not sure exactly what happened to these poor people that are on the table. They're not even recognizable to you to be sure if they are Felucians. But you can tell when a guy has had his arm removed and a bone-like blade has been grafted in its place, and when steroids and things have been used on an indigenous life form to swell and bulk and muscular, you know, non-naturally, a subject. And these guys are also like restrained to the table and being mutated and mutilated. This revelation, racking your brain, entering the room, listening to Rahul prattle on, taking in the room itself, the evidence in front of you, your mind racing, well, pretty much say that's, you know, that's you.
Okay.
Round 2, poser.
Yep.
Rahul and Doctor are pulling off a grand bluff. Things could go sideways any second. The mercs and scouts and war vets are all, you know, lined up for shit to go sideways. You are the party wild card. You know the advantage you could give the party by reaching out and feeling for perception with the Force. But the risk, the fear of what might lurk above you in orbit. Wasn't there a Star Destroyer in orbit? An Imperial Star Destroyer?
Yeah.
But there's the here and the now. Does the fact that you've covered events with practically only Zin possibly witnessing what you can actually do in a battle, you were damn helpful in the first battle. You took out half the bad guys. And again, you've held your own. The bit with Switch was weird where you kind of ignored the battle, but I'm not saying this plays on your guilt. But now that you've reactivated sort of like reach back to the Force, the will of the Force, the flow, the good, the evil, what you can sense around you, it's hard to shut out. Now, you don't have to like quiet your mind and reach out. You know, I'm not going to force the Force upon you. But you ever get near a kitchen and you can smell good food? And if you want to take a minute, then you reach out with your memory and thoughts and nostrils and go, oh, that's roast pork. That's apple pie. I know what that is, right? So here you are on the cusp of a delicious and nasty smelling kitchen where you can smell both the garbage and the beautiful dinner being cooked. And you make a decision where you decide to take a moment and reach out and identify, or just ignore it going, that's just a whole bunch of noise of smell and force, and I'm, you know, it's just you and your axe. What do you do?
I'm still going to be kind of cutting myself off and kind of hiding.
Okay.
So
you feel any pinging, the immediately counter ping to hide goes up.
Yeah.
Okay. So as far as that goes, that's sort of all introspective. Is there anything you want to do while you're stacked up on the door here?
Just make sure I'm out of sight from the doorway and just be prepared to either rush in or rush straight across down this hallway in case one of these doors opens.
Okay. So you're just hanging loose.
Yep.
All right. Merrick, you're loaded, you're in position, but Rahal's getting too close. You haven't worked for him for that long, and you're used to following his lead, but he's not really used to tactically following yours. He should stand in the doorway and then be a distraction for you to pop your head in and drop a grenade. He's crossed halfway into the room. If you're not careful, you could gas your boss.
He has not made this easy. I will wait.
But on the inside, it's like a string just tight. Ding, 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 ding,
Okay.
ding, ding, ding.
Now you can make the shot. The door is open. You just lean in, boop, right over their heads, arc it, land it in the back corner right next to the guy and all that stuff, and gas away. What kind of range, what kind of radius does it have?
1 second.
My concern is the bounce factor. You know, if you lob it and put it right into that corner and it gasses out 5 squares, you're gold.
4 squares is the radius.
Okay. But if it, you know, if you roll low and if you roll low and it kind of like bounces back in even 1 square or whatever, you're going to knock out the doctor, the guy in the bed, maybe even left, you know.
Range is 50.
Yeah, for the shot.
Where's your sense of adventure?
For the shot. I just mean, you know.
Oh, yeah. There's always a chance of the ones.
Yep.
The ones are out there.
So what do you want to do?
I wish to ready my action, and at the first sign of things going sideways, I let loose.
All right. Zin.
Well, my action wasn't triggered, so I'm going to continue.
All right.
I mean, there's been conversations in there, so things are obviously happening.
Yep.
I don't want to be the turd in the punch bowl and pull a trigger and kill somebody.
All right.
You don't want to pee in the pool.
Nope.
That's right.
Quietly waiting, the three of you guys fall into place. Even Poser is taking up a melee weapon, you can notice, and is tensely waiting at the doors, remaining out of sight. Where were these guys during the war? For people who don't know each other, because as far as you understand, after talking to them on the ship, they haven't known each other very long. They seem to pick, or if not, know their role when, things become dangerous. Which brings us around to Rawl. Now, Matt, you had a very long rant, so I'm going to say that your second half of your rant happens now. Which brings us back to the attendant saying, Dr. So-and-so this, Dr. So-and-so that, Captain So-and-so this, Askaleth is rolling around in his brain, deciphering the names, what it means, the research, steps up. You're right now, Dr. Leth, you're at the edge of the bed, and you're looking down at this poor, mutilated, you're pretty sure, life sciences, if you please.
Knowledge life sciences, 26.
You're pretty sure someone has taken one of the Felucian scouts, like the guy that led you here, cute little plant guy, young, brave, 25-year-old in his prime, and mutilated him, removed an arm, put some kind of natural bone saw sword that's grafted and practically living to his arm, so it actually remains non-brittle, and juiced this guy and hulked him up. And there's two subjects strapped down to restraints on the beds, and they've both been similarly operated on, and not recently either. Like, this operation looks like it was, a little while ago, and it's healing, and the bone graft is actually taking, and that kind of thing. It's disgusting.
How elegant.
Round 3, Poser.
Yeah.
Holding up. What do you want to do?
Yep.
Okay.
Just chilling, waiting.
No temptation from the DM this round for force use. Merrick. The string pulls tighter and tighter. Everyone's talking. So much talking.
I roll my shoulders at Holster Sasha.
Okay. Just waiting. Just waiting for the shot, right?
Yes.
Okay. Zin. 3 rounds have gone by. When you guard a facility in the Outer Rim, on a mud ball, you get to know the people. You get to know the hallways. You get to know sounds. And even if you're in the middle of a conversation, even the average stormtrooper should get some perception checks. And even if he fails them horribly, sooner or later this guy might turn his head. Now, fortunately for you guys, if he steps into the hall because he heard something, he will see Merrick and Poser. But from where he's standing, he has no line of sight on them, and he barely has a line of sight on you. But he may turn his head and just glance into the room behind him, as people do, and see you. It's actually much more likely that he'll move, stop talking to whoever he's talking to, and just start wandering around or whatever, right? Slim is the chance, maybe. There is still a chance. Now, luck in the universe, in Star Wars, there is supposedly, according to Han Solo, arguing with Ben Kenobi, who argues there is no luck. And luck, destiny directly force players in and out of their destinies. And now I have begun to choose secret destinies as agreed upon before you join the game for each player. Discovery, destruction, rescue, that kind of thing have been preordained. And as you guys move towards your destinies, when you get to the next part of the adventure, the next module, whatever, you guys will enjoy these wonderful bonuses if you move towards your destiny. You feel the pull. You feel the universe telling you you are in the right place at the right time, doing what you should do to make a difference. This is where you need to be, not back home, not getting drunk in a bar, not part of the old Parch militia, your favorite weapon in hand that wrecks marriages, eyes on a stormtrooper, the Imperials that you hate now, ready to take a shot, professional and calm enough to wait. The universe wants you here. Question is the universe going to give you or this stormtrooper a little nudge to make shit hit the fan because it wants a mess? Because there's some bigger destiny involved and stuff's supposed to go down. Who knows? But we'll find out.
Let's see.
We'll see. I want you to roll percentage dice for me, please.
So I'm just kind of sitting there looking down the barrel of my gun.
Yep.
And that guy's head is just kind of bobbing in and out, as he normally talks. And I'm just whispering, against the stock of the gun. And I'm like, I hate the fact that I love you so much. Just itching to pull the trigger right now. 92.
92%. Oh, the universe likes you. This guy is just, he's practically at a water cooler. Not turning, not moving. Gonna sit here and talk about his job and his hate all day long. Very detailed story about some television show called The Running Man he watched last night. And you can tell by his posture as he shifts from leg to leg that he's getting comfy, but he's settling in. Doesn't seem to turn. And that urge just to pull the trigger comes and goes as we go past your turn.
Oh, this guy's just a paid by the hour. I mean, I'm just itching to drop him, and I'm like, it's not time.
The rattling bang without a silencer would go through, not to mention, you know what I mean? You don't want to turn one encounter into two.
Oh, dude.
So, Frank, old man's in. That being said, roll me a D100, and we'll see if the universe favors you. Because, he's shifting his body language again, and the head might start turning.
Okay.
And you
see here.
And you guys
Clicking
can
on
find
there.
out. You guys can find out what happens next week.
Oh.
Huh.
Really?
Wah, wah, wah.
That's all I get. Oh, jeez. All right.
You guys are killing me.
I know.
Bring you to your antics.
Definitely the Kybok.
A speeder sound in the area would not go unnoticed, but would not be recognized as foreign to these guys because they have their own.
That's true as
and
well.
Kyboks don't have guns, and a speeder bike has its own laser cannon. Shh, do you smell something?
Do you smell something?
The Ghostbuster line, Dan Aykroyd.
Ghostbusters.
He's like, listen, do you guys smell something?
Yeah.
Like, shh, listen, you smell something? A really good line. I totally thought Frank would set himself up for that. It's like I was just waiting for it.
I was trying.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You guys are killing me.
I'm sorry.
Killing me, Smalls.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Go again.
I can't. I lost it.
Oh.
It's on. Yeah.
You stole it from him. You
stole
stole his
it.
thunder.
The magic of editing, guys.